Welcome. In this video, I will review the Rawm SH01 Pro and show you the necessary settings. Also, if you can't connect your wireless mouse to your computer, I'll show you how to solve that problem in this video as well. Let's start with what's inside the box. The box has two layers like this. It comes with grip tapes inside. There's also a spare set of skates. Additionally, there's a cable and an 8000 Hz dongle. Other than that, there's nothing else. Let's close the box right away and continue with the mouse. As for the technical specifications of the mouse, it uses the Pixart PAW3950 sensor. It also uses the Nordic 52840 MCU. With this sensor, it can reach a polling rate of up to 8000 Hz. It also has 750 IPS and 50G acceleration. Its weight varies between 55 and 57 grams. It uses a 300 mAh battery, so at 1000 Hz, it offers up to 80 hours of use. So to summarize, the hardware used in this mouse is currently state-of-the-art. As for its shape, it uses the shape of the Razer Viper V3 Pro. However, as you may have noticed, it's a bit smaller in size. In fact, we can say there's a significant difference. So you can think of it as the Razer Viper V3 Pro Mini. In terms of design, the only difference, apart from the text, is that there's an extra switch here. Also, if we look at the bottom, there's a slot for a 1000 Hz receiver here. This is where the 1000 Hz receiver comes out. I removed it so it wouldn't add extra weight. If you want, you can also store it here. Right above it, there's a DPI button, a power button, and a button to switch between Bluetooth and 2.4 GHz. In terms of skate structure, they're very different from Razer. The thing I liked least about this mouse was its sensor, because, as you may have noticed, the sensor sits much higher than the average mouse. This sometimes makes it impossible to move the mouse when making minimal adjustments. I realized this after I started using the mouse. For example, when I want to make very small movements, I end up moving the back of the mouse. And since the mouse sensor is roughly around here, when I move the back, the mouse cursor barely moves at all. Of course, this can cause problems at certain points. As for the quality of the skates, honestly, I haven't seen any issues. The stock skates are usable. When it first arrives, there's a protective film on it, so don't forget to remove that. Additionally, there's also a spare set of skates included in the box. So what kind of hands is this mouse suitable for? If your hand is smaller than 18 centimeters and you use a palm grip, you can use this mouse. For example, my hand is 18 centimeters and I can hold it with a palm grip. In centimeters and you use a claw grip, you can use this mouse as well. I use a claw grip and honestly, I haven't had much trouble with this mouse. If you want a mouse that fills the palm of your hand, you might want to go for slightly larger mice, because here, the palm of your hand is left a bit empty. One reason for this is that, compared to Razer, its height is a bit lower. Other than that, the mouse is really very affordable in terms of price. So, if you also like its shape, I would definitely say don't miss out on this mouse. By the way, this is my first sponsored mouse review video. However, these are entirely my own experiences and opinions. They only sent me the mouse for review purposes. And I'm sharing my own experiences and comments with you to help you out. When it comes to its weight, 55 grams is quite an ideal weight. Unless you specifically want it to be extremely light, we can say it's a very suitable, ideal weight. By the way, there's another topic I want to talk about, and that's about the Razer Viper V3 Pro. I started experiencing stuttering with this mouse, so while moving the mouse, my cursor keeps stuttering. Every 3 or 4 seconds, there are stutters similar to drops. I researched a lot of solutions for this. I tried 500 Hz, I tried 8000 Hz. I even changed my motherboard, just in case it was caused by that. Since my motherboard is old, maybe it couldn't handle the sensor, or something like that, but it still hasn't been resolved, so most likely, the mouse's sensor or dongle is broken. Also, since I'm currently living in Turkey and I bought this mouse from America, I can't send it to technical service either. So I can say that I can't use this mouse anymore. So honestly, having this mouse arrive was really good for me because it's both the mini version and has the same shape. As I said, the only thing I don't like is that the sensor is positioned too high. Maybe you know, with Ponch brand mice, you can adjust the height of the sensor. Now I realize that this is actually a really important feature. However, it would have been enough if the sensor was just a little lower instead of being so high up. Will I keep using this mouse from now on? I'll probably use it. I mean, it usually doesn't become my main mouse because I constantly switch between a few mice. This mouse will also be added to the ones I rotate between. Also, I'll be sharing a gameplay video with this mouse in about a week. There, you'll also be able to see its performance and potential. By the way, I forgot to show this. This is what the mouse's dongle looks like. It has a simple design, just like Razer. If your mouse is detected when connected with a cable but not when connected with the dongle, the reason might be that the dongle and the mouse are not paired. This issue is also present in other wireless mice. I'll show you what to do through this mouse's software. First of all, to solve this problem, we need two USB cables. Connect one of these cables to the dongle and the other end to the case. With the other, we connect the USB cable to the case on one end, to the mouse on the other. Then you click on Connect Device and select whichever appears on the left and connect it. Next, you click on the USB icon here. Since mine is already connected, it asks if I want to disconnect it. For you, it will say Pair here. You'll click on Pair. After that, you'll have connected the mouse and the dongle. Then from here, you can make any settings you want through the web browser. Here there's a DPI setting. Here you select the polling rate in Hertz. Here there's the mouse's light. Mine is turned off. Here there's a performance mode. High performance, low performance. In office mode, it's the lowest performance. The more you lower the performance, the longer the battery lasts. Here it shows the surface quality, but I don't think it's very accurate. In this setting, there are options like how high the sensor will operate from the surface, angle snapping, ripple control, and similar settings. If you're curious, you can look these up in detail on the internet. I don't use them. Here, you can set how long it takes for the mouse to go to sleep. My settings are already here anyway. If you have any other questions you're curious about, you can write them in the comments. I think I've explained everything about the mouse. If you have any questions on your mind or anything you're curious about, you can also write them in the comments. I try to reply to all comments. If you like this kind of review videos, you can like this video. That way maybe we'll get more sponsors and be able to review more mice. Up until now I bought all the mice I've reviewed myself, but now it's starting to strain my budget. So from now on we'll continue with mouse reviews as sponsorships come in. This mouse was the first one in my sponsored videos. I'd like to thank Rawm for that. Let's wrap up this video here. See you in the next videos.